Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info tab. Glad you made it today. Today I wanted to dive into some political appointees that have been done by the VA. And, what direction is that going to take the VA? Is it going to, what's it going to enhance, right? What is it going to do for us as the veteran, the end user of the VA system, the whole purpose that the VA system is even in existence, right? So I would love to get comments on your own thoughts. I mean, I'm just reading what came across from the news feed here for Office of Public and Intergovernmental Affairs from the VA. So OPIA is what that would be. And again, I'm just going to kind of read through it, get a little snapshot on the appointees, and I'd like to see some dialogue on how we think that that's going to benefit. How that's going to be a benefit for us as the veteran, the end user of the VA system. So the first is, I'm not sure if it's Jamie or Jaime, Arizanga Soto is now the chairman of the Board of Veterans Appeals. So that's a big job there. So chairman, Board of Veterans Appeals. He is a citizen. So this is kind of the snapshot off of the website here. So a citizen, soldier, and Army judge advocate. He most recently served as the principal deputy general counsel of the National Guard Bureau, so at the federal level. In August 2021, he was promoted to the grade of brigadier general, making him the first Latino JAG general officer in the armed forces. He was mobilized from 18 to 21 as the chief of the Army National Guard Trial Defense Service, and looks like that was a 218 soldier strong formation across the 54 National Guards. So with the National Guard being in all 50 states and then the territories as well, so he had that federal kind of blanket of responsibility. In the civilian sector, the last two governors of Virginia appointed him as the Deputy Secretary of Veterans and Defense Affairs. So that's the state Veterans Affairs, and usually it's either going to be veterans or veterans and military, or in this case, Veterans and Defense Affairs, where he advised the governors, the past two governors, on matters related to the 30 large DoD installations. Obviously, Virginia has a lot of DoD because it's so close to DC there too. So the 30 large DoD installations in Virginia and the Commonwealth's 730,000 veterans and their families. So that's the population of veterans in the state of Virginia. Previously, he was appointed by the Obama administration as the senior attorney advisor at USAID's Office of the General Counsel. He also served as White House Fellow assigned to the Treasury Department, started his legal career, international law, 12 years, U.S. law firms, 8 years, Brazil, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So, and then it gives some information, Stanford University and so forth. National Academy of Political and Strategic Studies of Chile. So just kind of goes through his educational background as well. So that sounds to me as though they're filling a recent vacant spot with that appointee. The next one is Victor Legrune as the Chief Diversity Officer. Says Legrune is a U.S. Army veteran who served with the 10th Mountain Division as an intelligence analysis they screwed up, prior to being medically separated in 2006. Most recently, he served as the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Alliances for the Division of Health Equity, Department of Population Sciences at City of Hope from 2018 to 22. As the first Chief Diversity Officer at VA. So this is a new position that's been created at VA and is being filled for the first time with this appointee. So obviously the VA is taking a stance here on direction and putting in leadership at a high level in order to achieve whatever goals they have with regard to diversity. So Again, as the first Chief Diversity Officer at VA, LeGrun is charged with the development of VA's inclusive diversity, equity, and access strategy and governance. He leads the development, adoption, and implementation of VA-wide programs and policies in support of the department's strategic priorities, enabling accountability and transparency of data, driving results, ensuring the most effective initiatives are in place, and communicating and amplifying the message. So, good. That's great. And I would say that, there's a lot to unpack in there, and there's a lot of ways that a lot of us can basically be able to voice our concerns, I would say, through this. I don't know if it's a department or what within the VA. And as he is the one who is leading the charge on the development of the VA's inclusive, diversity, equity, and access strategy and governance, right? So there's a lot there, and pick your poison and get that information to him as he's developing it, because if we're not voicing it and he's not hearing it, he ain't fixing it, is the bottom line, right? So if you fit into one of those buckets, which we all can find a way to fit into something, this is going to be a way to maybe get some voices heard. Next one. There's only two more, by the way. So next one is Henry Montalbano. Close enough. Strategic Advisor, Office of Enterprise Integration. God, that's a mouthful. Hey, look, prior Marine, I need short words. Five letters or less is helpful. And, the more phonetically sounding it is, the better. All right. Prior to his time at the VA, I'm going to say he instead of his last name, a U.S. Army Special Forces combat veteran focused on veterans issues, working across the philanthropy, I'm going to say, because I can say that better than this one. Yeah, you guys know how to say it with the optic at the end. And federal government sector. So the guy was doing good work for free, and also working with the government sectors to, make things happen. As a combat veteran, probably infiltrating in there as a special forces guy, hopefully, and doing good things for the veteran community, I'm hoping. After serving as the program officer at the Schultz Family Foundation, managing the Veterans Grant Portfolio, he transitioned to the office of Senator Richard Blumenthal, where he covered defense personnel and veterans issues for the senator, who is a member of the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. He earned his BA from blah, blah, and his MBA from wherever. So, cool. So, he's got a little bit of education. He's Special Forces combat veteran. Awesome. And he did some free stuff and did some things with the government sector, which is probably why they're looking at the strategy aspect for this role. One take, Jake. Strategic Advisor, Office of Enterprise Integration. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's filling a vacant role. It could have been filled before, and now they're refilling it with him. Not sure what will come out of that. I'd like to know more about the role specifically. The next one and the last one here, Alberto Ramos, Chief Speechwriter. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. So, just a quick paraphrase here. Ramos, U.S. Naval Academy alum, Navy veteran who served 12 years as a submarine officer. Heck no, by the way, submarine. All you submariners out there with your dolphins, crazy. Yeah, no, I'm good. I was on a ship for, I don't know, it was like 30 days going from Japan to the Philippines through a typhoon, and that was my extent with being close with the Navy folks. And boy, I'll tell you what, going through a typhoon on a mid-sized ship is not the funnest experience. All right, so he was a submariner. Following his transition from active duty, he completed a nonpartisan White House fellowship. International Development Finance Corporation, most recently led candidate recruitment and new politics, supporting veterans and national service alumni interested in transitioning into politics. All right. Proud native of Las Vegas. And that's about it. All right. So that's really it. I'll copy and paste it. I'll put the link in there. I'd just like to get a little insight. I think most probably interesting to me would be the new chairman of the Board of Veterans Appeals and the chief diversity officer, and the strategic advisor, right? So what kind of strategies are we looking at here, and how are they going to benefit the VA, thus benefiting us, the veterans, right? So with that, I'll go ahead and conclude it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate each and every one of you just bringing you up to speed with information that's out there from the VA. It's better to know it and not need it than need it, and not have it. It's good to know what's happening in the VA, so we can voice our concerns if we have any. All right, thanks. Remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.